The story begins with a man named Joe who was a manager in a company. One day when he opened his eyes, he saw that he was locked in a prison-like building. He had no idea how he reached there. There were high walls around him, an iron door in front, and a stone mill in the middle of the room. Poor Joe got scared and started pleading for help, but the prisoner in the next room told him to keep his mouth shut. Then Joe went to the grill and asked this man what was happening. The man said that Joe has been given a drug due to which he will feel very sad for many days. He told his name as Nick, and then he advised Joe to take rest because tomorrow is going to be a very difficult day. Joe was not able to understand how to get out of here, and then this guard threw some food and a bottle of water inside. Through the hole in the door, Joe immediately ran towards him and started explaining to the guard that his wife is pregnant and that is why he has to go to jail. He had to go out, but the guard refused to listen to him and closed the hole. This injured Joe's hand as well. After this, Joe tied a bandage on his hand with his tie and started eating. Then suddenly in the evening, he saw a light on the wall, and then a computerized voice told him that he was welcome to the advanced career training program. Joe still did not understand anything, so when he asked Nick's, he came to know that this was a prison-like place built by his company where many people like Joe were kept. People are brought to the office for not doing good work. Then the next morning Joe got more food, and then he saw a human skeleton buried on the ground. Joe got very scared and once again went near the net and asked Nick if anyone had died here. Then Nick told that many people have died while working here. Joe could not understand how the company could do this to them. Then Nick said that before joining the company they all had signed a contract in which they had given approval for this program. No one ever read the entire contract, and now they will have to suffer the punishment for it. After this, the computerized voice said that Joe will have to rotate this stone mill from 6 a.m. to 10 p.m. After every rotation he will get 1 point, and he will have to complete 50 points in a day, otherwise he will be punished. The prisoner who has the least rotations will have to lose his life. Why hasn't he completed his 50 rounds of the day? Then he returns home once again. He pleaded to leave, but Nick from the other room said that it was of no use. There was no other option, so Joe started working. It was not easy to rotate such a heavy mill, but Joe put in all his effort and completed 100 rounds by the end of the day. Then he fell asleep due to exhaustion, but suddenly he woke up when he heard the screams of a prisoner because he was being sentenced to death. Next morning when Joe was eating while talking to Nick came to know that yesterday Joe completed 100 rounds. Nick advised him not to work so much, otherwise the company people would make him do more work, but Joe felt that by working hard he would soon be free from here and would be able to meet his pregnant wife once again. Later when he was working, he remembered the day when he had gifted a new house to his wife Kate, which Kate was very happy about. The next day Kate asked Joe to take leave from office and go to the doctor, but Joe seemed hesitant about it, which made Kate very sad because Joe gave more importance to work than family. Then suddenly the alarm rang and Joe saw that he had completed 150 rounds today. After this, the guard called him to the door and asked him to take off his clothes. Joe thought that he would be killed. Joe pleaded a lot, but the guard did not listen to him and the door opened. Then Joe was brought to a pool. He understood that he was called only to take a bath. Days passed like this and Joe continued to work hard in the hot sun. Due to the hot sun, he started drinking more water and soon his bottle got empty. He asked the guard for more water, but Nick said that they get only so much water to stay alive. Well, he continued his work despite being tired. Suddenly he remembered that he had promised Kate that she would pay the hospital bill somehow. Finally, at the end of the day, he fell down due to exhaustion, and then the AI said that he had completed 370 rounds. He should take a rest. While doing this, Joe saw that the name Alex was written below the handle. When he asked Nick, he told him that Alex was the only Man who managed to get out of here alive. That is why the company gave Joe a pen as a reward, but it was of no use to Joe. That is why Joe got angry. He started shouting. Well, the next day he saw that now he had to complete 370 rounds instead of 50. He said that how will he complete so many rounds with his injured hands, but that computerized voice said that humans are capable of doing more work than they think. Then Joe started turning the mill, and he saw that even after completing one round he did not get a point on this. The computer told him that he has been punished, according to which he will get 1 point for completing 2 rounds, which means he will have to complete 370 rounds. Now he had no choice. That is why he started working, but in the end his body left him and he fell down. Then a voice came that he did not complete today's rounds. Then Kate's picture came on the wall, and AI said that if Joe did not work, then Kate will also have to come here. This scared Joe a lot, and he promised to complete the target tomorrow. The next day Joe tucked the handle in his coat so that his wound does not feel pain, and then with all his heart he started turning the mill. After some time his mind started playing strange games with him. He could see himself laughing at himself, but Joe did not pay attention to this, and finally just before 10 o'clock he completed his target. Poor Joe fell asleep due to extreme exhaustion. In the morning AI showed him a video of his wife and son as a gift. Seeing this, Joe became very happy. His eyes filled with tears because he was very far from them. Later he asked Nick how Alex got out of there. At first Nick was hesitant, but when he came to know about Joe's unborn child, he decided to help Joe. He asked Joe to look behind the pillar where the camera could not see. Joe went and saw that there was a circle there. Actually it was a hollow place, and soon Joe started marking it with his pen. Days passed and Joe kept making this hole bigger in his free time. Eventually the hole became so big that he could easily get out. Joe went inside and thought that there must be a way out, but then the guard found him and beat him up. When he opened his eyes he saw that the hole was filled again, and he was now punished to complete 1,000 rounds. Nick also supported him, and that is why his legs were being cut. He was in so much pain that he could not work. Joe felt very bad and started thinking of doing something, but Nick said that AI cannot understand human beings. Then it is revealed that Nick had designed this jail while working in the company's IT cell. Then Joe thought of a trick and said that if no prisoner takes even 1 round, then everyone's score will be equal, and then the computer will not be able to punish anyone. Then Joe convinced all the prisoners present there not to work. Soon the day started, but no one worked. But as soon as the day ended, the AI announced that all those who have 0 points will be killed. Fearing this, all the prisoners started working, and Joe's plan failed. Then Nick asked him to turn the mill or else he will also be killed. Finally Joe made Joe turn the mill 1 round before the time was over. He completed the round, but he felt very bad for Nick because he could not even take a single round without his legs. That night Nick revealed that he was not Nick but Alex. He also tried to escape through the hole in the wall, but the guards caught him and put him in another room. He deliberately hid this from Joe because he thought that maybe this time someone will be able to escape through the hole. Well, finally they both said goodbye to each other and Joe lay down to sleep. Then he heard the painful screams of Alex as he was being killed. Then the next day the AI showed him another video in which Kate was there and his son had started walking. Seeing this, Joe realized how long he had been imprisoned and he got furious. He started abusing the company, but then the computer said that such behavior will not be tolerated and sentenced Joe to death. After this, many people from the company came there with the guards and gave the lethal injection. They started preparing here. The guards started speaking ill of Joe's wife and son. Joe got angry and started beating the guard mercilessly. Then the AI said that the guard could not do his job. That is why if Joe kills the guard, they will be sent to the next stage. Hearing this, Joe stopped and started shouting that he was not a monster. The company wanted him to become a monster, but Joe would not let this happen. Then suddenly Joe returned to reality and saw that he was sitting in his office. Actually, all this was a modern virtual program in which all the people were connected to machines. Then his HR, who looked like the sane guard, told Joe that he must be feeling that many months have passed, but in reality only 1 hour had passed. That is, his son was not born yet, and everything is the same as before. Then through this experiment, HR calculated that Joe could not get promotion till now because he was not challenged properly. When they put Joe in difficulty in the program, he completed every task given to him. Finally, the company decided to give promotion to Joe. Then Pickle gave Joe his new cabinet so that Joe could work better. Apart from this, he also made Joe sign an agreement after she left Joe called Kate, and on hearing her voice, Joe's eyes filled with tears. He said that he loves Kate and their future child very much. If you like the video, please like it and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.